welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you are new here, and today we're going to be talking about my wedding bridal party. So for those of you that are new, welcome. I am getting married on April 29th of next year to my fiance George. Here's a little picture of us so you can see. We've been engaged since July 4th of 2020, so a little over a year at this point, so our engagement will be almost 2 years, somewhere around there, a little bit less, but that's our little backstory. So I'm going to be sharing with you all sorts of different wedding experiences and tips now that I've been going through the wedding process and we are getting a lot closer. I feel like I have a lot to tell you about the bridal party, the vendors, the venues, wedding dress shopping, and all of that fun stuff. Today's video is going to be all about how we chose our bridal party, who's in our bridal party, how we asked them, and what the responsibilities of our bridal party are. Alright, so to start us off, we have 8 people on both sides of our bridal party. So that means 8 girls and 8 boys, and that does not include our flower girls and ring bearers. So my reasoning behind 8 was that I had certain people that I knew I wanted to be in the bridal party, and then I also knew that I wanted it to be an even number. And my sole reason for wanting it to be an even number was the fact that when we take pictures, I want to be in the middle, and I want my fiance to be in the middle, and then have an even number of people on both sides. Now, the one thing that might be a little bit unconventional or weird to some people is that I actually have 3 maids of honor, and I'll talk about who they are in a minute and why I have 3. My fiance only has 1 best man, so that does not line up perfectly, but in reality I don't really think that it matters because we still have 8 people on both sides. We'll just have to have 1 maid of honor obviously be matched up with the best man, and I think that's also just a big point that I've been realizing as I've been going through this whole wedding planning process. It does not matter what other people are doing. I had seen people that make their mom their maid of honor, and I think that that's such a cool idea. While I didn't do that, I think that it's just a really special way to get to share that with your mom. And I mean, so many girls, their mom is their best friend, so why not have one of the most important people in your life be your maids of honor? I just feel like that people are doing some very different things these days, but it's super cool to see all the different trends and the unconventional things, and I think it's fun to change it up. So doesn't matter what other people think, do what makes you happy because overall it is your day. Okay, so starting off with my side, I have 8 people like I said. I have 3 maids of honor, and so the reason I have 3 are because I couldn't pick between them, and 2 of them are actually my sisters, so that in itself was going to be really hard to pick because I have 2 sisters. I have an older sister and a younger sister, so of course both of them are going to be maids of honor, and I just wanted this to be a special day for all of us to share, so I have both of them in there. And then also my third one is my best friend from childhood. It's just something that we've always talked about, and she's my longest best friend. Like, I've been best friends with her since we were like 7 or 8, so it's been a really long time, and I just felt like she needed to be a part of that too. And I will say too, it's kind of nice having more than one because they can kind of split up the responsibilities in their own way, and they're all at super different stages of their life. My older sister is a mom. My younger sister is going through college. She's trying to graduate. My best friend, she lives in DC. She's working full-time. She has a crazy life too. So all of them are very busy, and we don't all live close to each other. I don't live close to any of them, so it's kind of just worked out that one can do something while the other can do something else, depending on when it's convenient for them or what works best for them, just because everyone has such crazy lives. So moving on to the rest of the girls in the bridal party, the rest of them are bridesmaids. The next 2 are my fiance's sister, so he has 2 older sisters. I just feel like it's really special to have them in the party because we are becoming family. I really look up to them, and I also feel like they are a really big help during this process because they've already done their own weddings, they both are married, and they have a lot of advice to give, and it's just been really helpful and fun to have them involved too. And then I have some friends. So I have 2 friends from college. They're some of my best friends in the entire world. We made the best friendships in college, and I'm really excited to get to share this with them as well. And then I have one of my really close friends who lives down here in North Carolina with me. She was my first friend that I met when I came here, and we just have so much in common and do everything together, so she is also included. Okay, sorry the lighting is changing. It's getting darker outside, so I'm trying to figure this out, but those are the 8 girls that I have involved in the party. I just wanted to say that they are all girls that I know support me, they hype me up, and they're people that just make me feel really good to be around. So that's the most important part about picking your bridal party. I think a really important takeaway from this though is that if you are marrying someone who has siblings, they don't have to be in your wedding party. I know plenty of people who did not have their fiance's siblings in their wedding party just because they weren't close to them, they didn't know them very well, or they weren't people that were gonna like hype them up and make them feel good. So if that's not you, you're really not obligated to include them. I think it would be a really great discussion to have with your fiance, but you are supposed to be the star of the show on your wedding day, and I just think that having people that are gonna be your biggest supporters on that day surrounding you is super important. So moving on to my fiance's men that he has. Like I said, he has one best man, and that is his cousin, but it's also basically like his brother. They are super close. He's also been super supportive of George, so that was a no-brainer for him to have his cousin as his best man. And then the rest of the men he has are his groomsmen. So he has his two brothers-in-law. I always say that wrong. Brothers-in-law? His sister's husbands. So they are both groomsmen. He's really close to them. He looks up to them a lot. One of them has been in his life for many years because George is a lot younger than his sisters, and he really looks up to him as a role model. So he has both of them. Then he has a couple of friends. So he has a friend from college. He has two friends from high school that he's been longtime friends with. He has a friend that he used to coach alongside of, so someone from work. And then his last one is actually his nephew. So his nephew will be, at the time of our wedding, he'll be 12. And while some people might think that that's too young for someone to be in the bridal party, like as a groomsman or a bridesmaid, my fiance was actually a groomsman in his sister and brother-in-law's wedding. He was about 12. So it's honestly really special and cute that he now gets to include his nephew in our wedding like that. But I don't think that it's too young, and I think that that's another thing that you kind of have to discuss with your fiance, finding that barrier between should they be a ring bearer or a flower girl, or can they be a groomsman or a bridesmaid. Now the activities that you do with them, they might not be able to do everything. Like when my fiance went on his bachelor party, he did not invite his nephew because they were doing some things that a 12-year-old should not be doing. So it's just kind of something that you have to kind of think about. But he is going to do something special with just him, like going and doing some games, go-karting, something fun that he can do and that still feels special, like he's still included in the bridal party. So then as for our flower girls and ring bearers, we are having two of each. So 2 flower girls, 2 ring bearers. Our flower girls are both of George's nieces. So his one niece she's going to be 10 at the time of the wedding. The other niece will be about 2.5 at the time. So they're going to walk down together, and I kind of like it that way too because we have an older one and a younger one, so they can kind of, the older one can guide the younger one down the aisle. And then for our ring bearers, we have my nephew, who will be almost 3 at the time of the wedding, and then his other nephew, his youngest nephew, who is going to be about almost 4 at the time of the wedding. All right, so the next topic is, how did we ask our bridal party people to be our bridal party people? We got boxes, just little cardboard boxes from Amazon, nothing too exciting, but I wanted it to be kind of simple. We just got stuff to put inside of the boxes that were kind of personalized and cute, that just made it exciting and a fun way to ask them. So for the girls, I ended up giving them a cup. It was a tumbler that I cricketed their name onto, so they all got a personalized tumbler. I ended up giving them a candle, and their candles all said something cute like, I can't say I do without you. For my fiance's sisters, it said something like, I need my sister from another mister, I don't know, things like that. So just cute little things on them, and I made those myself too, so I could cut down on prices. I just made little labels to put around the candles, and then I also gave them little hair ties, so it had a knot in it, so it said something about tying the knot with us. So I was able to give most of mine to my people in person. 2 of them I had to mail because I don't live close to them and I wasn't seeing them really anytime soon, so it worked out just fine. I told them, I wrote on the outside of the box, FaceTime you before you open this, or like when you get this, so that I could open it with them on FaceTime, and they did. So it was still really special even though we couldn't do all of them in person. So then my fiance's was very similar. He gave all of his groomsmen a box as well. He got little whiskey glasses though from Etsy, and I will link them down below too. He got our initials, I think, etched onto the glass, and then it said something about our wedding on them. And then he gave everybody a little bottle of whiskey, but for his nephew, who was not of age, he just gave him a little thing of root beer, which was cute because he still got to drink with the guys when he asked everybody, because he asked all of them at the same time, most of them. So he still got to drink with the guys, but he just had his root beer. And then he also gave them all a cigar, but he gave his nephew a pretzel stick. So it was still really cute. Okay, so the last thing about the bridal party that I want to talk about is the responsibilities of them. Now this was something that I really had to think about and ask the opinions of other people for, because I really didn't know like what I was supposed to expect of them, how much of it was supposed to be on me, what I could and what was okay to put on them. I didn't know. So every wedding's obviously going to be different. It totally depends on the people. Let me tell you a little something about me. I don't love surprises, and I am a little bit of a control freak when it comes to planning. So I really didn't love the idea of putting many planning responsibilities onto the bridal party because I wanted to do it. That was just my preference. It's totally up to you, but I just really like to be in control of those kinds of things, and I've taken as much of this wedding under my wing as I possibly could because I just want to do it. So I did originally leave the bachelorette party planning up to my maids of honor, and then George left the bachelor party planning up to his best man. I ended up actually planning most of my bachelorette party just because of the circumstances that it came out under, and I needed to kind of just do something in a pinch. So that ended up coming down to me too, but that was something that they did try to get involved in. But I did think that that was a really good responsibility for them. It made them feel very involved, and it wasn't something that it wasn't going to be a big chunk out of their pockets necessarily. Everyone else was also paying for coming to the bachelorette party and the bachelor party. So aside from that, my bridal party is helping in different aspects to plan my bridal shower. Now, like I said, I don't live near my family, so I'm having 2 bridal showers from what I understand, one up north and then one down here. One of my bridesmaids who lives down here, she's helping to plan the one down here, or actually she's taking control of it. But up north, my mom really wanted to get involved with it, so she is taking control of that. But also, so are my other bridesmaids that live around there, like George's sisters, my sisters. They are all getting involved too, so it's kind of becoming a big team effort. So it was something else that they really wanted to work together to do, so that's another responsibility that they have taken on. And then as far as the actual wedding day, I don't really have many responsibilities for them. I am going to make a whole video talking about like attire and what everyone's wearing and how we chose it and everything, that will also talk about who's paying for what. But I will kind of quickly say here that they are paying for their own outfits too, so that was a financial responsibility for them. Because of that, I tried to be really cost effective, and I'll talk about that more in that other video. They are in charge of purchasing their own attire, their own shoes, hair and makeup. That's all going to be on them. But we did give options and different price points and stuff like that so that it can be a little bit more accommodating for everybody. I forgot to mention that also at the wedding, our maids of honor and best man will be in charge of giving speeches at the reception and being in charge of the rings during the day. So that's really it for the information about our bridal party. It was a really big no-brainer of who we wanted to be in our bridal party. We are so supported and loved, and we are excited to be with these people and to spend our wedding day with them. We think that it's going to be such a fun time. We have such a mix of personalities, and everybody's at such a different point of their life. It's just going to be really fun, and I feel like we picked a really good group of people. So I'm excited to share more information about our wedding now that we are getting so much closer. So be on the lookout for those videos in the near future. I hope that you found this video helpful if you are planning a wedding, or if you just wanted to come along and plan my wedding with me. I am so excited to take this journey with you, and we are getting married in 122 days, I think that it is from today. It's getting there. We're getting really close. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you in the next one.